How's it going, everyone? Mike Davenport, Louisville's Chevy Dude here at Bachman Chevrolet in Louisville, Kentucky. This is probably going to be the last video I do for a little bit on the 2019 ZR1. So I'm sitting here with the most expensive Chevrolet ever sold at $145,100 on this particular car. And if you go to a convertible, you'll get a few $1,000s more, up to about $148,000. And man, what a phenomenal car. So today I'm going to do an entire full 100% walk around. This video may be really long, but it's gonna be worth watching. I'm gonna show you everything you need to know about this car, and also for you Corvette enthusiasts looking to purchase a car, this is gonna show you the real reason why you buy a car from me, because I know all the ins and outs of every single electronic of this car. I know everything about the ordering options, because it's very important to understand these ordering options. They're very, very difficult. And then also, most importantly, if there's anything that you need as a customer down the road, I sell cars all over the country, you can see that I can just simply send you a text message and tell you how to do something or how something works. So enjoy the video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. So we're going to start on the exterior of this car. Now, as you know, this is the ZR1 Sebring Orange Design Package. This is a $7,000 option, and the option list on this car includes the Sebring Orange 10-coat paint, as you see here, the leather sport seats with suede microfiber inserts in orange stitching, love the orange stitching, the ZR1 carbon flash painted alloy wheels, the orange painted calipers, the orange seat belts and orange interior accents, the orange painted stripe ground effects, carbon fiber and suede microfiber wrapped steering wheel. Now, one thing that was a mystery on when we were ordering this car for the customer is also in that Sebring Orange 10-coat package is also says blackout roof decal. So obviously we have the exposed carbon fiber top. We did not want the black decal on this top. We wanted the exposed carbon fiber. So that's kind of a tricky situation. And I made sure with my customer, I actually contacted somebody at GM and asked them, they couldn't answer for me, but I told the customer, no worries, if there's a sticker on this car, it can come off and we'll have that top. So also a big misnomer that my customer actually thought this, and I had to have a little good conversation with him and let him know that I'm doing this and let me handle it. I'm on it. I'm on my game. I sell a lot of Corvettes. I understand Corvette's ordering process. Is the Track Performance Package, also known as the ZTK package. So the ZTK package is an absolute separate line item when you put this on the 3ZR car. So there's been some people out there, and I see a car out there right now that's delivered, it is a 100% mistake because the dealer did not know what they were doing and they informed the customer wrong. So the ZTK package is a free flow option when you do the Sebring Orange Design Package, and the ZTK gives you this awesome wing. I love this wing. This wing is so awesome. They give you an upgraded suspension, it's a performance ride and handling the suspension. They give you the summer only Sport Cup 2 tires. Now, if you have never seen these tires, these are absolutely race tires. They have no interior tread on them. And then you also have the front splitter end caps. I've showed you these right here. This is part of the ZTK package. Those are also in carbon fiber, and you saw how I put those on in the PDI process. Now back to this wing. This wing is adjustable. I don't know why it needs to be adjustable. It doesn't adjust much, and it's really hard for me to show you. I'd have to take the wing off to show you, but literally these two bolts right here, this bolt and this bolt, can come off, and it can move just a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can focus in on this at all, but you can kind of see, you probably can't see it, I can see it with my naked eye, but you can see there's a little lip right here that allows me to adjust that wing so that wing can come down. I'm talking that wing can come down maybe a millimeter. So whatever a millimeter may do to a wing, I don't know, 950 pounds of downforce on the back of that car, I don't know what a half a millimeter or a full millimeter will change that, but it is adjustable back there as well. Coming on the inside of this car, this is a 3ZR package, which there's only 2 packages available on the ZR1. On the other cars, the Z06, the Grand Sport, the Stingray, and the regular Z51 car, there's 3, 1, 2, and 3, LT or LZ, depending on which car you're on. So in the ZR1, they only did 1 ZR and 3 ZR. So this particular car is a 3ZR, and this gives us everything that we really want in the car. Memory seats, power adjustable lumbars, Napa leather, which is awesome. If you don't know what the leather is, it's basically just cut from one hide rather than mashed down and put in remanufactured. So you get your power heated outside mirrors, you have your inside auto dimming mirrors, you have a full year XM radio on the car, you have all the Alcantara in the vehicle, you have a custom leather wrapped instrument panel and doors, heated and ventilated seats, universal home remote, performance, data recorder, navigation, upgraded theft system, which you see down here in that button. Carbon fiber steering wheel, carbon fiber instrument panel, front view cameras, which I'm going to show you here in a second, upgraded theft system, and a few others, including the premium audio system. So I'm going to take the top off of this car so that way I can get a little bit more light inside the vehicle, so I have some really good lighting to show you some of the things on the interior. We're going to do a startup here in a little bit, and first of all I'm going to show you how the car top stows and also how it's taken off. It's very, very simple. The top only weighs 16 pounds, so it's something very, very awesome. The C6, the top weighed 32 pounds, so with this being carbon fiber, they've cut that in half. You can see why I'm gonna take this off, because there's not a lot of light in here. So basically, I just hit these levers right here to take this off. I hit this lever right here to take this off. And basically what I do is I just pop the seal right here. You can see there's a little break in the seal. I pop out of the vehicle and I take that off. So this will be the first time that I put the top in the car with this big wing. I can see that's going to be an issue. Luckily I'm 6'3", so that's very, very simple. So there is a button right here under the 1. Now on the regular Corvette, the T is right here, so you'll just be right under the first T, not the second T, the first T of Corvette. There's a button right here. You push that, it pops the trunk for you, and you can see that I've got a lot of room in there as well. So I'm going to put this camera up. I'm going to put the top in here. You can see it's going to go right there on both sides, and then it's going to clip right in there, and this top stows in here just like it sits on the vehicle. So when I'm taking the top off the car, I simply just finished removing it, bring it back here. I don't really have to adjust this around. And one of the really cool things, which I'm going to show you here in a second, is the stitching on the bottom of this car. So this has got the orange stitching Alcantara top, which is standard on the 3LT, 3ZL, and 3ZR car. You have the Alcantara top and the stitching on the Carbon 65 car that I got over here that's still for sale. That's a blue top, so it's really, really cool that's got this orange top. So you don't mess with this lever at all. I see a lot of people do that. There's no reason to do that. Actually, this will rub up against the plastic of your car, so you want to keep that way. And you just bring this in. Whew, that is a little different to put in the car, I'll tell you that, compared to mine. Again, luckily I'm 6'3", and I can do it. So we put that in there just like that, and you can see it fits in there with no issues. So now that I have some light inside the car, I'll show you the rest of the interior of the vehicle. I mentioned it earlier, Napa leather. Napa leather is basically what I did some research back in 2013, because this is a very common question with people going to 3LTs and coming from 2LTs. Napa leather does not have so much grain surface in it, and basically it's cut from one piece of hide, and it's not something that's cut from scraps, melted down, and repurposed to make a seat cover or dash cover or whatnot. So this is just one piece of leather and stuff like that. So it's really, really high-end leather, really nice stuff for automotive. You got the Alcantara up here, the orange stitching up here, orange stitching everywhere. I mean, they've done a really, really great job of putting the orange stitching in here. So the orange stitching is also on the shifter knob right here as well, around this Alcantara part here. Some more of the bronze here. Absolutely love that bronze. And I think one of the best features that I have in my personal car is that I upgraded the $1,000 option of putting carbon fiber in here. So now my carbon fiber is not shiny like this because it wasn't available at the time in 16, well 15 when I bought my car, but absolutely love this. Love the carbon fiber steering wheel. Love this says ZR1 right here, and the carbon fiber on the bottom as well. More Alcantara use on here. and all that good stuff as well. So the mirror is a bezel-less mirror. You can see there's no edges on it. It's tip to tip, and then you'll see that there's a little band right here. This is auto dimming mirror, so most of the interior of the light of the mirror actually dims if someone comes behind you with bright lights. I'm going to do a startup here in a second, but for right now I'm going to put this in accessory mode. There's two accessory modes on the car. If I simply push the button with no foot on the brake, you're going to see a couple things come on. I'm getting beeping, that's coming on, the radio is going to come on. I'm going to shut that off. And you can see it stops beeping, everything's going to start dimming out. And then the second accessory mode is pushing and holding this start stop button for 10 seconds. It's going to tell you to put your foot on the brake, don't have to worry about that. And now you can see everything comes on just like the car is actually running. So I'm going to clear out my messages here because I still have my trunk open. You're going to have a service engine light on because the engine's not running. You can see that I've got up here, I've got a little trunk indicator, but we're going to focus on the radio right now and some of the controls down here at the bottom. So let's head into the radio and show you some of the radio. So this car has got factory navigation, so we're going to hit that right there. We'll have nav. You can see it's a really crisp, clear screen. Absolutely love the screen. I love the detail on it. The green lines on the interstate right here is XM nav traffic, which you get a full year of XM radio on this car being a 3ZR. So basically what that does is tell you that the traffic out there on the interstate is flowing with no issues, no hiccups, anything like that. So that's something live coming from XM and all the traffic sensors, just like we see on our Waze apps or Apple Maps or Google Maps or whatever you may use. So that's right into the car. Some of the cool features that I like about this is your destination if you want to type it in. I always tell all my clients, never pay attention to any of these. These right here are useless. If you come up here, it's kind of hidden. People don't see it. You can simply type an address or place, and you type in the address of where you're going to, just like you would fill out an envelope, but you don't have to worry about zip code because we don't know zip codes of hardly any place that we go to other than our home or work or whatnot. So I'm going to hit the back button and get out of there. You can see I can zoom in if I want to. I can zoom out if I want to. I can come in here to the menu, and I can see all sorts of stuff. So if I had a map in there, which there was no destination ever put into this car yet, I can hit the resume to, and it'll go back to the last destination point that I have in there. So you can see I've got voice prompts on, the voice volume, and prompts during phone calls, so I can shut that off or turn it on, or simply just do beep. So that way, if you're on a Bluetooth phone call or CarPlay phone call, it can come over and do things that it needs to do. Current location is going to show us our latitude and longitude, nearest hospital, nearest police station, and nearest fuel center of where that is. So nearest service department, so I don't know what that is because we're inside of a dealership, so it's got all that stuff as well. I don't know what 1.6 miles for service department is. It must not be for GM. So then you have your map view settings. 3D view I think is the best view. Heading up view, we don't like that. I like the 3D view better. North up view, so north is always to the top. So audio information, you can turn that off and turn that on, and then automatic for day and night mode as well. So we're gonna come back out of there, and I'm gonna show you coming right here. You can see if I hit this button right here, you can see I can move this around. If I hit the little arrow right there, I mean, I can do whatever I want with this. Well, now I'm completely 100% lost and I can't get back, so I can simply just hit reset, and that brings in centers over the car. So the menu, also inside the menu, also has personal data that you can come in here and erase and delete and all that good stuff as well. So you can protect yourself in the event that you go sell your car. Now, when you sell your car to me, I go through this and do all this stuff up front. So even if you've done it, I take out the garage door openers, I take out all your personal data, all that good stuff. And of course, with a lot of people having passes for toll roads, if there's a little sticker on the windshield, I take that off as well. So enough of the navigation. Let's go to the audio. The audio, I get this question all the time. How do I find AM, FM, XM? So no CD player in the car. So $145,000 car, we have no CD player in it, but it's been that way since 2013. So simply, you can just hit radio, and this goes through your AM, FM, XM radio stations. Media is going to go into your USB ports that you have. You have 3 USB ports. You have one behind the screen, as you can see right in there, and 2 of them are in the armrest, which I have my camera setting on. I can't show you there. So this is going to go to your next station or previous station. If you want to tune to a certain station, you can do that as well. You can see, and I'm going to the heat 46. If I wanted to hit 2, but I only wanted to go to 2 and not go to 22 or something like that, I could have hit go right down here, and it would go to hits 1 on XM radio. So the browse feature works really, really well on both AM, FM, and XM radio. When I'm on XM, it's going to show every single channel that's available. Let me go back here to FM. So if I hit the browse, it's only going to show the strongest channels. So not saying that there's anything on 100.1. I think that's the radio station here in town. So there's that. So 100.5, 101.1. A little bit of static there, but it's a strong signal for whatever reason, so it might be an outline station that's just not picking up inside the building here. But it's going to show you the strongest signals, so that way if you're traveling, that's a little hack that you can have, that you can look for the strongest signals on the vehicle through there. Menu. You got Bose Audio Pilot, you got your tone settings, categories, HD radio. We want to turn that on. It's something I always do. You can update the station list, so if I'm messing with stuff like that or traveling, now it's what it's doing is going through FM and updating the station list through there. So the phone, not really going to use this much other than we paired my customer's phone already. This says pair device behind this sticker. You got voice commands.
Say call followed by the number or contact name.
You can do that, and then also on the steering wheel, which you can kind of see right here on the corner of the screen, you have all the voice recognition systems up here. So the contacts, his phone was paired currently to the car, the contacts would show up. So since his phone is nowhere near here, his contacts are not going to show up on the record here at all. The phone has to be 100% paired in order for the contacts to show. So as soon as he comes in contact with the car and it's on, those contacts will show up with no problem. So let's go back into the phone. So again, if a phone was paired, we would have recent, we have a keypad, we have voicemail, and coming into phones, it's just going to show the phones that are available on here. Projection is Apple CarPlay. You can go to my video, which I'll link in the right above here. So you can see Apple CarPlay, how that works. I'm not going to go into that. That's an hour-long discussion right then and there. Settings, a lot of settings in the car. Some of the things that I do to all my Corvettes is come into driving mode, engine sound management, turn this down to track mode. So you can see there are 4 different modes of exhaust sound. I don't know the difference between stealth and touring because it's the same sound. However, in touring, what's going to happen is if I decide that I want a touring sound and I have a little bit of spirited driving, what's going to happen is when I hit about 3,000 RPMs, those baffles are going to open up on that exhaust and I'll have the loud exhaust. Stealth, it's just going to stay that way the entire time. Sport, it's kind of loud. Track is even the loudest, so it's pretty cool that we can do that. So we always do that in that. So time and date, really nothing in there. You can come in to do clock display, which is you can shut that off and on. Don't know why you'd want that off, but set time, which it's auto set without the GPS and XM radio and all that stuff. Language, we got 3 languages in here: English, France, and Spanish, which there's somebody in my house that can speak all those because my wife and daughter does that. So valet mode, again, whoops, let's go up here. Valet mode. You can set up your own PIN number, which I did a video on that as well. You can search my YouTube Corvette Stingray playlist, and I've got a video on how that works as well. And then one really cool thing is you have teen drivers. So now I let my kid drive my Corvette every once in a while, and I trust her 100%, but I can give her a key that is set to not go over 85 miles per hour. I have a teen driver video on that. I have her current cruise set up with teen driving mode that I can monitor her and what she does and whatnot. So that's what teen driver is. How funny would it be if I set this up for the customer on teen driver mode? He would probably be pissed that he can't go over 85 miles an hour. And then we just got some radio settings, vehicle settings, which I typically come down here, the remote lock on start, passive door locks. So that way when you walk away from the car locks, and it'll do it with a horn chirp as well. So just a few more settings on the inside of the vehicle. And again, I'm not gonna go over those 100% just because they're boring and tedious. So you can shut off Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You can shut off the display. You can calibrate the display all through there. So if you're hitting right here and it's not catching it, this is where you kind of come into the display settings, display all the way at the bottom, and then you have return to factory settings. So just like if you're gonna trade your car and whatnot. So weather, This is, again, something through XM. If I want to see the 5-day forecast, I can do that. If I want to see the hourly forecast, I can do that. If I want to put in the map, I can do that as well. So if I take this out, you can see the actual rain up there in Chicago, in Missouri, and stuff like that. If I'm going to go somewhere, I can sit there and type in the city that I want to go to and do that as well. So performance data recorder, I got a video on that as well. You can check that out. So that I don't have a gig SD card in there. 32 gig is the largest SD card you do want to put in there. I had somebody I think on YouTube say, hey, I got a 256 gig, it's not working. It's because it's too big for the car, too big for the slot, and that's why. So, and then SMX text, this is kind of more along the lines with Androids and not Apple, because Apple security systems do not allow a third-party device control it. So, and then we got all this stuff here as well. I'm not going to go over the marketplace and iHeartRadio. That's kind of pretty self-explanatory. Traffic, I kind of explained that just a little bit ago, but you can see your traffic incidences here. This is just construction. It's only 200 feet. There's no delay, stuff like that. And then we have the cameras. So these are the front cameras, which I have videos on that as well. My buddy Brandon is down in Texas. So he had the first car came in, Z06, with the front cameras. I used his car as a demonstration right here on the showroom floor, so you can see that. So this is an upgraded camera now. It's 720p, where it was not in the past. So you can see the front, you can see the rear, you can shut the lines off if you want. The front cameras, this sees right dead straight down. This shows the garage door and even the Chevy Bolt that's way over here, about 20 feet or so. And then you can see way over here the front door and the mop bucket that's right there as well. So coming back, we have OnStar, we have Wi-Fi in the car, you have Fox Sports up in here, Wall Street Journal, People, New York Times, Marketplace, iHeartRadio as well. You got your presets down here, which you can have 60 presets to go on it. I showed you behind the screen. You have volume and radio down there, and then you have your HVAC system down here, which I'm going to get into next. So down here, we have all the HVAC systems. So you can see this says high. This is your temperature control. It's going to be redundant up here. And you can see the passenger is over there. Now the passenger has their own control over here, so you can see that. So if I were to mess with this, you can see it goes down to like 78 degrees. So now we have 78 on the passenger side, 81 on the driver's side. I can simply hit this sync button, and it's going to bring back the temperature for both the passenger and the driver. So as a driver, you don't have to reach way over there and hit that. So all the climate control is all automatic, so you just hit that automatic button. That's what I do in my personal car and let it work. The only time that I ever really mess with anything else is like if the windshield was fogging up, that I can hit this right here to do the defrost on the windshield. This is rear defrost. So redundant on both sides. Hot seats for the passenger, cold seats for the passenger. And then over here on this side in front of the shifter knob is the hot and cold seats for there as well. So coming right behind the HVAC system is the center console here. So we have a power outlet there. I mentioned the USB port back there. I showed you that earlier. There is 2 USB ports in here. So all of these are power. They're all 2-watt powers. So you have 4 power outlets right here, but also you have another power outlet right there. So you have 5 power sources for the front 2 passengers. That's a lot of power sources, a lot of good information to have powered up. For someone like me, 5 power sources are really, really needed. So inside here, you got the automatic 8-speed transmission. If you watch my video on the tips and tricks of the automatic transmission, you'll see how you can use this and the paddle shifters to get all the information out of that 8-speed transmission. So coming into the selector mode right here, you can see I can twist this both ways. There is only 3 modes in the ZR1. Now the other cars there's 5, but there's only 3 in this car. So we're going to lose 2 modes, so I'm going to show you here in a second. But you have traction control to shut that off and on. This is your electronic parking brake. And back to the selector mode here, you can see at the 6 o'clock position I got TR. That stands for Trek. I'm going to flip this 1 position to the left. You'll see Sport, you'll see Touring, and then if I flip this 1 more time, it's going to go all the way back to track. So we're losing the eco mode and we're losing the weather mode on the ZR1. So each driver mode gives you different characteristics immediately when you switch it. So in track mode, it's your most race car mode, being magnetic ride control. If you hit that traction control button, it gives you more modes for wet, dry, track 1, track 2, all that good stuff. Touring mode is going to be the safest mode on the car, and then you got the sport mode. So they all change the characteristics of the steering, the suspension, the exhaust sound, everything. It's an absolute wonderful system. And with the normal Corvette, we have the most driving modes of any vehicle on the market, with having 5. So this car has 3, which is pretty in line with a lot of cars, Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, which by means when you're spending $145,000 a car, what you get in the ZR1 is by far better than anything out there. Now, I've had a Huracan. I had a Lamborghini Huracan. I've never told anybody about that. I'll try to find a video and throw it in here to kind of show you that I had one. I'm telling you, I love this car much better than a Lamborghini. I've been trying to get this thing to focus for a little bit, and this is about the best I got. Oh, there it goes, a little bit better. So this is the driver. This is the heads-up display. So you can see, I don't want to move it, but you can move that up and down based off of the size of person you are, height-wise, and all that good stuff. If I hit the second button, info, you can see I can go through an analog RPM, digital speed, and then the bars at the bottom is the G meter, and the P at the bottom right is what gear you're in, or what shifter mode you're in. So I'm in park right now and whatnot. So if I were to put it in a different gear, it would show me. If I was in M7 or M6 manual transmission with the shifter mode, with the shifter paddle shifters, it'll tell me that as well. You can see now I just shut it all off, so I have the digital speed. If I hit info one more time, you can see this is kind of more like track mode, digital speed, the G meter at the bottom, and then the RPM as well, more in a track line as well. So you can see that with this being in break-in period, that the red line is way down by 4,500 RPM. When this is out of break-in period, that red line will change up to 6,500 RPM. So, and just for reference, right here are those buttons. I showed you those earlier in the video, but right there are those buttons that I was messing with to change the way that looks up on the windshield. Coming to the steering wheel, you can see your plus and your minus on your shifters. I've showed that before in past videos, which you can check that out. You got your voice recognition system. So if somebody were to call me, I would hit this right here to answer it, this to decline the call or to hang up. If I want to use voice recognition, I can sit here and hold this for 3 seconds to activate your phone's voice recognition system. If it's the best phone like Apple, you can use your Siri. I don't know what Google uses, some of Google Assistant or whatever. And then these buttons, I'm going to show this here in a second. This is the driver information center. You can see I'm moving, I'm hitting that button now and moving all that through there. And then this is your cruise control on and off, set coast, resume Excel, and the cancel button right there. So showing you the driver information center, I'm using it over here on the bottom right of the screen. The arrows, we come down here, we got trip A, trip B. You got your average fuel economy, average speed, instant fuel economy, fuel range. You have your oil life monitor, you have your tire pressures there. The last 50 miles of fuel economy, fuel used, and a timer, and then the speed limit since we have navigations. You have your engine hours and lifetime revs, which is revolutions of the engine. So back to the digital display. Now you'll notice, it's really tough to see on the screen, but if you notice at the 80 PSI for oil pressure on the far left, which would be the 9 o'clock position, the 320 on the right, the 3 o'clock position, and then right underneath the 4 for the RPM, which is the 12 o'clock position, and then right above that TR track mode at the 6 o'clock position, you'll see arrows. The arrows look just like these right here. So if I were to push left on this, you'll see I get 6 more options in here, and when I push that, this is performance. So this goes through all my performance stuff. So if I want to come down, there's your G-force, there's your where your G is, so it's kind of like a pendulum telling you where your gravity is going to. Your 0 to 60 time, which I can come over here and I can set this. If I want to set this anywhere I want, I can do that as well. So also coming down, you have your coolant temp, oil pressure, battery voltage, trans fluid temp, horsepower, tire temp as well. So if they're overheated, they'll tell you there's your there is your wheel slippage for your electronic limited slip differential in the back, and you're back to the normal. So the next ones are just audio, phone, navigation, and some options. So inside the options here, what I really like, which I've changed mine, is if I want to lock to track mode, I can sit here and lock this into track mode regardless of which display I'm in. Now it comes from the factory locked into sport mode, and then also I can sit here and disable speed warnings. I can do pocket gauges, so if I want my right pocket gauges to be horsepower, which is what I've got mine set up on. I can change that, so now I have horsepower, which we can see is all the way up to 800, which is awesome. So next to last thing is the customer elected to have the custom Sill plate put on the car with his name, built in Bowling Green, Kentucky, with the VIN number of his car, which we've talked about earlier, that this is VIN number 31. So that's an option that you can do on this car as well, and he got that done. So as we get out of the car, I'll show you the last couple things. I don't think I showed these ZR1 floor mats. These are specific to the Sebring orange design package. Absolutely love the ZR1 emblem on there with the orange stitching. Just a little bit more update on the orange stitching here and the orange seat belts, just to show those a little bit closer. Of course, the competition seats have the carbon fiber insert in there. You have more orange stitching up here. You have more Alcantara up in here. Alcantara goes all the way to the back. Also, since I put the target top in the vehicle into the trunk, you can see that there's still a lot of room underneath there to do, which again, you can see my video linked above for the how much room is actually in this car when I had a customer traveling and bought a new car from me. So all that stuff in the back there, I'm going to show you that, what that is. So all of this stuff comes in the trunk of the car from the factory. So this is called a front grille cover. A lot of people think this is a front license plate bracket. This is not. It's really just for aero looks. It's ugly, it's stupid. There's no reason to put it on the Corvette, so nobody ever does. These clips here is what puts that on. You have the cargo net that goes in the back, which comes in really, really handy. So that way you don't have something slide to the front of the car and you have to reach in, especially with this big wing. It makes it even more difficult. So it comes with a couple of bolts for the license plate in the back, and then you have your owner's manual, which is a nice bag here. So this bag here is the Sunshade. It's in two pieces, one for the bottom, one for the top. When this is installed, you completely can see out the back of the deck lid with no issue, and then also if you have anything in there, it covers everything up so you can't see. This box here, which you can see in the video right above here, is the battery protection package. I always recommend that you get this for every single Corvette you have, because especially if you are in the Midwest or somewhere you can't drive it, again, Florida people, Texas people, California people, we dislike you when it's snowing here in Kentucky, but lucky you for driving it all year round. So this is the good battery protection package that you definitely want to have on every single Corvette if you don't get to drive it all year round. And these last two big boxes are really just for track use only. So these are aerodynamics for wind to come into the brakes, come into the car, under stuff like that. And so there's a lot of different things that you see in here, and a lot of different tubes and stuff like that, and they're all designed to bring wind into certain areas, and that's stuff that you only use on the track. You don't have that on the car outside, so that stays inside the vehicle with the owner, and that's it. That's what comes in the back of the vehicle on every single ZR1 and Z06 with Z07 package. All right, so under the hood, which is probably the best part of this vehicle, we have the carbon fiber supercharger cover right there. Absolutely beautiful that this is an exposed supercharger. Underneath, I'm going to try to get a little bit better angle on this. I didn't really do a good job on the first video because it's so dark in our showroom for carbon fiber, but I'm going to show you this from the other side. But down here, very limited things you have to worry about for maintenance on Corvettes. So this is your brake fluid, this is your windshield wiper fluid. You'll never see power steering fluid because this is an electric power steering system, which is better for responsiveness, better for maintenance, you know, all that good stuff, which is tough to see, but the power steering pump is right down there. Over on the passenger side of the vehicle, you're going to see some relays there, your intake over there. You have your dry sump oil system here, which if you ever change your oil, the first oil change is due at 500 miles on this car. And with any dry sump oil system, so Z cars, Z51, Z06, Grand Sport, all have dry sump in their cars, so you want to do that, and there's a label right here that tells you on how to do it. So basically you just need to change the oil, get it up to 175 degrees temperature, let it set for 5 to 10 minutes, and then check the oil level, which is right here. So this is your coolant level here. We only use Dex Cool, which is the pink stuff. You have to use that, and then down and below, it's just tough to see. You got all the stuff down there as well. So this is something new that they put on the car on the ZR1, is this little cover right here. So typically on the Z51 cars and the Z06s, that's a little bit more exposed. So I don't know what the purpose of that is, but that's something new on the car as well. And so try to get, again, another good view of this carbon fiber. It stinks that it's black and it's tough to see, but having all this carbon fiber underneath the hood, I absolutely love it. That's just an amazing feature, and as you guys know, I'm a huge carbon fiber fan. Love it. I want to put it all over my car and have it, everything on it, and I've put some on my car here and there, but absolutely beautiful carbon fiber everywhere you go. And then when you close it, I always close it from right here because the mechanisms you can see for locking the hood are way down. They're about 1.5 feet down. So if you just shut it like really light, you'll get hung up and you have to put fingerprints on the car and stuff like that. We try to minimize it. And then also one other thing that I love about this hood is the aggressive lines coming down here. Absolutely love how aggressive they got, almost a 90-degree angle right here, and then just straight back up and straight over. I think that's really something cool that they've done on the car. And as I washed this car myself the other day, as you saw in the video that I uploaded last, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of water that got in here. So they've done a really good job of channeling water that comes down here, going straight down to the radiator and out, which might be a reason why this is here. I don't think that's the reason, but I didn't have to do a whole lot of drying off in the engine bay. So anytime that I put water on one of my personal cars, especially my Corvette, I'm talking 5 or 6 hours of cleaning time between me and my wife, 3 hours a piece of cleaning stuff. So I hate putting water on my Corvette, which is why I typically use Adam's waterless wash. I showed that video as well. But so that's nice that they channel that water right down in there, and I didn't have a whole lot of water in here. I just sprayed it off with the compressed air, and we were good to go. So when you're closing this hood, again, I kind of come from right here, give it a little tug, and it completely shuts 100% with no issues. So coming up to the front, you can see that is one mean looking car right there. Love it. Love the look. Love everything about this car. So you can see some of the 13 exchangers in there. There's 13 exchangers on this car. That is an amazing number that they've done. So hopefully we won't see any issues of overheating or anything like that on this car like we saw on the Z06. I think they learned their lesson on that. Mistakes happen, engineering happens, and whatnot. So it's good to see these out in the real world, just having some fun on the track. So I'm gonna put the top back on, and there's 2 rules to the top. The first one's not a huge deal. It's just a matter of making sure it's easier for you to put the top on. The first rule is 1, have the door open, both doors open, or if you don't want to have the passenger door open, have the window down, because the top seals over the window right here. When you try to put it on over there, it'll be difficult to put on. So when you're putting the top on, luckily I'm 6'3", I want to make sure that I don't hit these little rubber parts right here. So I just bring this down, and this is the #1 rule. Absolutely important. You do this every single time without question, is you lock the top. You never, ever put this top on the car and walk away from it. Because if you do, and I've had it happen over 18 years, I've had it happen a lot, and I tell people all the time, lock the top. If you do not lock the top, I promise you, you'll become part of the Flying Roof Club once in your life, and you do not want to be part of that club. Now the old C6, you absolutely trashed the car. The C7, I had a customer do it. It only cost them about 300 bucks to fix, but you got to remember, this is a $7,000 top. Don't take the chance. Lock the top. So putting stuff in the back of the car with this tall wing, I mean, you have to do it from the side. I just put the cargo shades in and the cargo net in, and I put these in all the time for people, and this one was a little difficult because I had to lean over the car and whatnot. But as I was talking about earlier, and I'll show you here in a second and try to show a good visualization on the rear view mirror, I think is the best way to do it. You can see out of the car with these installed with no problem. But here's also the really interesting thing is when you shut this, you can see there is not much room in between the top and the spoiler. So there's only about a ½ inch or so right there. So when you open this up, you have to open it up from the side, and with the seal being broke, it's going to close just fine. but there ain't much room in there, and I think the difficult part is putting that top in over here. Luckily, again, I'm tall, I can reach it, not an issue, but if you're a little bit shorter, it's gonna be tough to take this top off and put it in there. But I'll take that little bit of negativity or whatever you want to call that. I'll take this wing over taking my top off any day of the week. So I'm gonna try to keep my camera out of it. I know I'm not going to, but you can see the two posts in the mirror, so you can see through there. You can see the tops right there at the bottom, the black straight. And then I'm gonna bring the camera over here just a little bit so you can kind of see that Silverado back there, all that good stuff. See if I can bring this up like right here. You can see through there with no problems. Kind of tough to do with the camera, but nonetheless, you can see through there pretty easily and whatnot. So even if I were to bring the mirror down a little bit, we'll go to this level here, which I'm not used to this level. Here we go. You can even see if I got the mirror really far down that I can see through there and see that Silverado with no problem if you're not as tall as I am. There we go, all done. What an exhausting day. I'm telling you, I've been here, like you saw, nighttime photos and daytime photos, and just it's been nuts over these last several videos. So the customer is back, he's ready to go. I'm gonna go get him, show him his car, final car, way it looks, and then get out of here and start this up. All right, buddy, you ready to go?
Yeah.
You wanna take it home?
Playing
There you go. See, you already got that opening from the side thing down. You just did it without even thinking. Now the key, because the car's all sealed up, is getting that thing to shut. That's gonna be tough. So there you go. It's got the auto close now too. Yours doesn't have the auto close, but this has the auto close. So you just get that to latch the one time that it'll close down. You don't have to put much effort into it. Get out of shot, Dylan. Are you excited? You're excited. All right, so that's his 14 that I just took in on trade. I'll do a video on that. I'll show you at the end of the video what he's done to it. This is a Weapon X Motorsports car. Really super nice vehicle. You gonna say goodbye to the old one?
Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye.
You got a lot of good memories in that one.
Yeah.
You got that one end of 13? This one? Is that right?
Yeah.
End of 13.
January or July 8th.
Right.
13.
Yep. We got it at the end of the year.
Walked it to the assembly line in 15, 16, 17th of October.
Yeah, you did everything with that car. You went down to the museum to pick it up. You walked it right with the assembly line. You did all that stuff with that car.
Yep.
Which one's more exciting to get, the new one or the old one though? It's tough because you got a lot of, you did two totally different experiences.
It's hard to say because I did everything to that one, and I mean, I had it uncovered for a day. I uncovered it yesterday and this morning, and then to ride over here in it 50 miles, it was like, man, what are you doing?
You're ready to go, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Congratulations. It's an honor. Thank you so much. You're welcome, man. Congratulations, Doug. So there you have it. Doug is going away in his brand new ZR1. There it is. Hey, if this is the first time you're watching my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up if you like the video, and make sure you hit the bell notification as well. Hey, thank you so much for being a part of my channel. Thank you so much for being a part of my dealership life and me selling cars to so many people across the country. I truly try to make it easy. Remember, buying a car doesn't have to suck, and if there is anything I can do to help you out, don't hesitate to give me a call. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day and drive safely.